What if you could walk into any room and people liked you before you even said a word? Not because you're loud, not because you're charming, but because something about you, your presence, just feels magnetic. This isn't charisma. This isn't manipulation. It's alignment between your body, your energy, and your intention. Most people rely on words to impress. But the truth is, your body speaks before your mouth ever opens. And today, you're going to learn how to control that language. These 10 body language secrets aren't about being fake. They're subtle, powerful signals that tell the world, I know who I am. And I don't need to prove it. So if you're ready to stop forcing connection and start radiating presence, keep watching. Because the moment you shift your body, you shift how the world sees you. Part 1. The magnetic slow smile. Everyone knows a smile matters, but not all smiles are created equal. A quick, wide grin, it's friendly, but it's also reactive, sometimes even desperate. But a slow smile, that's different. You lock eyes with someone, you let your face stay still. And then, only after a pause, you let your lips curl up, smooth, deliberate, calm. That moment of delay creates curiosity. It signals, I'm not performing for your approval. I'm choosing to connect. Psychologically, this taps into a deep instinct. We're drawn to what feels earned. A slow smile feels earned. Practice this, not in front of people, but in front of a mirror. Learn to control the tempo of your expression until it becomes second nature, because the fastest way to intrigue someone is to make them feel like they just unlocked a moment you don't give to everyone. Part 2. Mirror without mimicking. People trust those who feel familiar, and nothing creates instant familiarity like subtle mirroring. You're at a coffee shop. They lean forward. You shift slightly, not obviously. They sip dash. You reach for your glass a beat later. You're not copying, you're syncing. Because at a subconscious level, this says, we move together. We belong in the same rhythm. Neurologically, mirroring activates the mirror neuron system, the same part of the brain that makes emotions contagious. It builds comfort, rapport, and even attraction. But here's the key: subtlety. If it's too precise, it feels like parody. If it's too frequent, it feels manipulative. Let it flow naturally, like you're dancing with someone who doesn't even realize you're leading. Done right, mirroring doesn't say, I agree. It says, I understand. And that's what people truly crave. Part 3. The power of the timed touch. Touch is primal. It bypasses logic and speaks straight to the nervous system. But here's the rule: only touch with timing and intention. Let's say you're in a great conversation. They say something meaningful. You place your hand briefly on their forearm as you nod, just for a second. Then you let go. That small touch, if timed right, isn't about affection. It's about anchoring emotion. It says, I'm here with you. This moment matters. Biochemically, it triggers oxytocin, the bonding chemical. And psychologically, it creates a micro-bridge between your presence and their feeling of safety. But beware. Too soon feels invasive. Too often feels manipulative. Touch should be rare enough to be remembered, and natural enough to feel like it was always meant to happen. Use it wisely, and they won't just remember your words, they'll remember your presence. Part 4. Pauses are power. moves. Most people fear silence. They rush to respond, to fill space, to avoid awkwardness. But here's the twist. The pause isn't empty. It's loaded with dominance. You're asked a question. Don't answer right away. Pause. Breathe. Look away for a second, then come back and speak. That micro-silence builds tension. And that tension makes your words feel more valuable. It signals, I don't react, I consider. I don't rush to be heard, you'll wait. In a world addicted to speed, slowness is authority. Try this in your next conversation. After someone finishes talking, pause for 2 seconds. Let their words land, then respond slowly, intentionally. They'll lean in. They'll listen closer. Because the one who controls the rhythm controls the room. Part 5. The head tilt of connection. Want to make someone feel truly heard? Don't just nod. Don't just smile. Tilt your head, just slightly. That one gesture says, I'm with you. You have my full attention. The head tilt is subtle, but powerful. It's the universal signal of openness, curiosity, and emotional availability. In neuroscience, it even mirrors submissive safety, which tells the other person, you can relax. This space is safe. But here's the upgrade. Combine the head tilt with steady eye contact and a micro-expression, a soft brow raise or a slight half smile. It makes people open up. It makes them go deeper. It makes them feel like you see more than their words. And when someone feels seen, they connect. Not with your logic, but with your presence. And that's what makes you unforgettable. Part 6. The smirk of quiet power. Not all smiles are created equal. Some invite connection, others create mystery. The smirk does both. It's not playful, it's not forced, it's subtle, one side of the mouth rising ever so slightly. You don't use it to entertain, you use it to signal control. You're at a party. Someone makes a bold comment. Everyone laughs. You hold their gaze, smirk, and look away. You've said nothing, but somehow you said everything. The smirk implies, I'm not easily impressed. I've seen more than you think. It positions you above the noise, not arrogantly, but unbothered. Just be sure, no eye rolling, no sarcasm. Keep it clean, confident, and brief, because a well-timed smirk doesn't just leave an impression, it plants a question they can't stop thinking about. Part 7. The stand that commands respect. Most people stand like they're waiting for something, but the ones who get noticed, they stand like they own the moment. Feet shoulder-width apart, weight balanced, shoulders open, not stiff, head held high, not arrogant, but anchored. This isn't posture, it's presence, because your body tells people how to treat you before you even speak. Stand like someone who's not rushing to leave, not bracing to defend, but rooted, like you have nowhere better to be than exactly where you are. People unconsciously respond to physical cues of stability. The straighter your spine, the quieter your power. Practice this in mirrors, in elevators, at events. Your goal isn't to take space, it's to stabilize the energy around you. Because when you carry stillness like armor, the room adjusts to you. Part 8. The voice that pulls people in. Want to stand out in a loud room? Don't get louder, get quieter. Lower your voice. Speak just under the noise. not in a whisper, but in a tone that says, if you want to hear this, you'll need to come closer. That's how you shift energy. That's how you create gravity. A lower, calmer voice projects control. It's not trying to win the room. It already knows it deserves attention. This technique works best in one-on-one or small group settings. Someone leans in. You keep your volume steady. They move closer. Now the dynamic has flipped. You're not trying to connect. They're trying to stay connected. It's intimacy by contrast. Stillness in chaos. Soft power in a world of noise. Because the person who lowers their voice isn't weak. They're sure the right ones will listen. Part 9. Leave on a high note. Here's a secret performers, leaders, and power players all know. Don't exit when it's done. Exit when it's best. You're in a great conversation. The energy is up. They're laughing, leaning in. It feels perfect. That's when you glance at your watch, smile and say, I hate to cut this short, but I've got to run. Let's pick this up next time. Why? Because humans remember the peak and the ending. It's called the peak-end rule. End on a high, and you become the moment they replay. Leave when they still want more, and your presence becomes a story in their mind. It's not about playing hard to get. It's about being intentional with your energy, because the most unforgettable people aren't the ones who stayed the longest. They're the ones who left just before you wanted them to. Let your body speak for you. You've just learned 10 silent tools that can change how the world sees you. No shouting, no chasing, no proving. Just movement, just energy, just presence. Because when your body speaks with intention, you don't need loud words. You don't need approval. People feel your clarity, and they respond to it. Start with one thing. Maybe the slow smile, maybe the pause, maybe the stance. Use it once today, not to impress, but to anchor who you are, and then watch how others lean in, how they shift, how they sense something different in you. You don't need to change your personality, just align your signals, because once your body and mindset speak the same language, you become undeniable. Now listen carefully. This channel isn't just about information, it's about transformation. So if you're ready to lead without words, subscribe now, or stay unheard forever. The choice is yours.